We got Mitch Roschelle, we got Dan Geltrude here, two geniuses. So happy to have them. Dan, bottom line, you have a worldwide shipping concern saying shipping isn't looking great, and it won't look great for a long, long time. That's not good.
No, it's not good on every level. Look, the indicators are saying demand may be coming down. Why does that surprise everybody when all of our policies are being driven to tamper down demand? However, I believe this is a supply-side driven inflationary period. What are we doing about that? Now, if we're going to have problems with shipping, and I guess it's good we averted a rail strike this week, but that could really cause a lot of pain if we can't get supply.
But, you know, we were talking, Mitch, about the Dow Transportation Average, and if you look at that, it does include airlines, and almost every major airline has said that it sees strong demand right through the holiday season, well into next year. Now, they might be wrong, and they might have to adjust that. And they might have to, like so many companies, ratchet down their guidance. So it isn't across the board. I'm just wondering how you see things.
I look at the FedEx story and the airlines that you just brought up, Neil. It's very similar, which is there's two pieces of their business. One is the consumer side of the business. The other is the business side of their business, sort of B2B versus B2C.
Right.
And on the airlines, I think the demand from the consumer remains strong. In fact, people, I think, were going into the future and trying to book flights because they saw how expensive things were during the summer. But what happens in the fourth quarter, the first lever that companies pull when they're concerned about earnings is they cut back on expenses. And what do they start getting rid of? Travel. Right? And if we've learned nothing the last 2 years, there's always a meeting that you can do by Zoom. You don't have to do in person. So I'm a little worried about the airlines from a corporate spend perspective because all their real profits come from the business traveler, not really from the consumer.
But the business traveler hasn't come storming back, has he?
They're starting to.
Okay.
I think, listen, my son was at a 3-day onboarding event in Orlando. Maybe he's watching this on the airplane right now. That would be productive. But
I assume this was a business event.
This was a business thing.
It's just partying.
No, well, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to get to the bottom of that when he lands at 4:45. But those things were dead in the water for 2 years. So you're starting to see businesses spend there, but also meetings, not just retreats and boondoggles. I think you're starting to see more meetings, more face-to-face with customers. And if they start cutting back on that, that could hurt the airlines. And also sort of back to FedEx. What did we learn? I was saying to Dan in the green room, I just was helping my in-laws sell their house in Florida, and every document we signed electronically. These are documents that in a million years you would have to go to the lawyer and sign. Right. So I think we've gotten to the point where these businesses have headwinds when contraction starts to happen. I think they feel it exponentially, and I think that's part of the FedEx story.
Now, I don't want to be the naive, cockeyed optimist, but I guess what I see, Dan, having lived through the 70s experience, right down to the leisure suits, that it's not like that at all. I mean, we still have job gains. We might have that reverse like we did during the Carter years, but we're a long way from that. And I'm looking at these long lines just uptown outside Apple to buy these phones. Now, that's something that might be a priority purchase for some who will gladly pay a lot for something that they don't crucially need. And I'm seeing these retail sales, anemic though they are, people are still buying. So I don't know if I subscribe to the housing's heading into a meltdown. I could see a slowdown. The consumer's just closing up the wallet and never opening it for months to come. I just don't see it.
Well, the consumer here is still spending. So the question becomes why and how? Well, they have access, at least to this point, to debt because debt is rising across the country.
So in other words, they're putting this on a credit card.
Absolutely. Yeah. And listen, in the last quarter, Neil, $46 billion increase in credit card debt in this country. So people aren't afraid of debt. Do they not think there's going to be any consequences to this?
So whatever clean balance sheets we had after, let's say, COVID, we've blown that?
Yeah,
I think so, Neil. Yeah. I think people are saying, hey, after COVID, I want to live a little bit so I could put a little bit more on a credit card. Maybe it'll get forgiven. How about that?
Oh, I don't know.
Right?
You know, guys, it's more political than anything else, but I've heard Ray Dalio say this, and we were talking to Larry Kudlow yesterday about this, that maybe part of the sell-off is anticipation that the Republicans don't romp in November. Do you buy that?
It's possible. I think it speaks to the policy failures, though, of this administration potentially, that the Republicans would be potentially good for the market because they would maybe get their arms around inflation better than the administration is. But the fact of the matter is, I think there are so many unknowns. We're going into a cold winter in Europe. We're going into a cold winter in the United States. Have you looked at your utilities bill for the month of July or August? They're ridiculous. So I think that we haven't really felt the ripple effects of inflation through our economy yet. And I think last week's CPI report suggests to me that the cost of energy is embedded in everything. It's, we strip out food and energy, big deal. Energy costs are embedded in everything that's in core CPI. And I think that there's a lot of vulnerabilities in the economy. That's why I think the market
I'm just wondering about the backdrop. We're in a city right now that's, I wouldn't say back to thriving, but it's not doing too poorly. Rents are rocketing. Real estate is rocketing. They've got a condo on the market, I guess, in this high rise. It's going to go for $250 million. If they get that, I mean, that's Dan Geltrude.
I was going to say, Neil, are we bidding against each other?
So what do you make of that? That doesn't happen in recessions.
Right, and that's what seems to be so confusing about what's happening, because we go back again. People are still spending money. But look, Neil, there's a lot of haves and have-nots. The haves are spending. The have-nots are borrowing. And I think that's why we're still seeing demand out there. Of course, the Fed is doing everything they can to take that down, but they're going in the wrong direction.
Super quick, and I know our producers got annoyed, but it's rare that I get a chance to talk to both of you at the same time. Expectations for a 3/4 point hike next week. Some are saying a full percentage point. 70% betting in November. We see at least another 3/4% hike. Where are you on this?
I think 3/4 because I don't think the Fed wants to freak out the markets too much.
A little late for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I don't think they want to do that. So if 75 basis points is baked in, they're going to leave that alone. Thereafter, I think if the economy continues to slow, we're going to have more GDP numbers coming out, right? If the economy continues to slow, they'll have to figure out if hiking rates is helping or hurting.
What do you think?
Neil, they're on a path of death by 1,000 cuts. I think they're going to keep going at 75 basis points this go round and the next. They'll wait and see what happens. But to me, there's no soft landing here, and a recession is absolutely guaranteed in my mind.
Okay, you can see.
You have a bottle around here?
But I have a green tie on for what it's worth.
That was just sort of like an aside. All right. All right. I hope these gentlemen are not right. They've been uncannily pressing about a lot of developments. By the way, the betting seems to be by the end of the year, the overnight bank lending rate, known as federal funds, will be at or around 4%, maybe higher. It will have essentially quadrupled in just a matter of, by that time, half a year.